The views expressed in this program are not express reflections of Vulcanite Media Minute or its workers. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is a new episode of the Contrarian Corner with your boy Big Norm. But there'll be more Three Queens Guys episodes in the upcoming future. We're doing renovating and more new stuff is happening right now. But I just wanted to let y'all know to please pick up the Aaron Jackson book series on Amazon.com and iTunes. Oh, and please remember that the new shirts in the Amazon store, the link will be directly down below on the YouTube video, so you can click that and pick up some Aaron Jackson t-shirts for your friends, your family, and your kids, whoever you want. I mean, it's a nice little comic book t-shirts. It's pretty good. Also, Afion and Nova will be done and out by the summer of 2018. Please pick that up and be aware of the Aaron Jackson comic book, live action graphic novel, coming soon to Comixology. If you want to support us, please click the links for PayPal. There's down below on the screen, and Patreon. Please subscribe to this channel for more videos of the Three Queens Guys in the Contrarian Corner. There'll be new episodes keep coming up at maybe next week, give or take this month. Okay, so let's begin. Alright, it's a lot of things I wanted to talk about that I've been neglecting to talk about because I was on a bit of a hiatus, was not feeling well, but I'm back. And okay, if you've been under a rock and you haven't been paying attention to the news or what passes for news these days, because there was a little terroristic bomber out there in Austin, Texas that was actually in black neighborhoods and bombing black neighborhoods. There's about 2 bombs that killed 2 people, and the media didn't really pay attention that it should have deserved, because this is domestic terrorism. I don't know. Let me tell you what happened. So a few of the bombs went off, a few people got killed, a few people got injured in the Hispanic part of the section, Hispanic black part of the section. It was only that when 2 white kids that was riding by a house that tripped the tripwire on third or fourth bomb that exploded, that it shrapnel hurt them, then the media really started paying more attention, and I guess the FBI press started to kick up a notch, because it was like real lax that they wasn't on an active hunt to find this guy. That's what I believe. I mean, you know, all this considered, they could say, oh, we was out there protecting all the black people, but let's be honest. Every time something happens in a black neighborhood, the law enforcement and media is real slow to pay major attention. And this was a fucking domestic terrorism bombing in America that the media neglected to even report on. Okay? Mainstream media neglected this shit for weeks. It wasn't until those 2 white kids that got almost blown up, that they really started to pay attention to it, which is fucked up. I mean, all this considered, they worried about Trump and school shootings and everything else, but every time it happens to black people, well, you know, it'll be on the back burner until it gets, you know, more coverage, or white people get hurt. That's how I feel. So anyway, so they caught the guy, Condit. Robert Johnson Condit, some shit crazy like that. I gotta do some research. Anyway, so he got caught. It was a shootout, and he blew himself up. He didn't want to get taken alive, I guess. But you know what's funny? The sheriff said that we cannot unequivocally say that this was domestic terrorism, because he had issues, and he had issues leading up to this. And I'm like, are you fucking serious right now, son? You bomb a black neighborhood, regardless, you bomb a neighborhood with bombs, you don't even shoot it, but bombs, nigga, bombs. It's terrorism. No matter if he was white or not. If he was black, y'all be calling it terrorism, because you know what? The FBI is more focused on black extremists, the identity extremists, the BIEs. Black identity extremists are more important to the FBI and law enforcement than these little white militias going around talking about, you know, you will not replace us, and Jews will not replace us, and blood and soil and all this. Nobody told them to come down and march in Charlottesville. You got these white militias out here training these neo-Nazi groups, and it's like nobody's paying attention to this shit. Nobody's, I mean, all things considered, in the 2006 FBI report, that it was estimated that a lot of law enforcement was infiltrated by neo-Nazi groups and skinheads. And now we have an active terrorist cell called Atomwaffen that's actually going around and killing people secretly. They already had 4 people, and it was already 4 people killed, and it was already connected by the FBI. So you gotta be on the lookout for that. I mean, you have fucking terrorist cells out here killing people, and you don't call it terrorism? Is it because you're white? Is it because they're white? Is that why the definition of terrorism doesn't apply to them? Or the definition of terrorism doesn't apply because you don't want to brand everybody with the same brush? Because if you brand them with terrorism, then you have to apply terrorism to what everybody else is doing. Like, the military is actually conducting terrorism across the world with drone strikes and illegal air forces and all this shit. But we could be keeping 100. Nobody calls for the Air Force to be in their airspace bombing innocent civilians, but people get killed by these drone strikes, and yet that is fucking terrorism. They're doing it for either political ideology, or they're doing it to gain maybe religious influence and territory and mineral resources. That is fucking terrorism. No matter how you slice it, it's fucking terrorism. All this considered, if it was a black person out there bombing rich white neighborhoods, they would have found that motherfucker, charged him with terrorism, and threw him in federal jail quicker than you could say fucking Alibaba, okay? Let's be honest. They always tend to downplay any type of white extremist out there, and it's fucking sad because it's like, as a African American, I'm not American because, I'm black, so that way, my being here in America doesn't qualify me as an American, because to them, I'm not that important, or to us, we're not that important to them. And it's sad, because it's like, the only people they do care about is either rich or white. And if you're poor, you're black, you're a minority, you're other, they don't care about you. Let's be honest. These people going out here as coons and bootlickers trying to be white so badly, they don't care about you. I know you're listening to this podcast. They don't care about you. You have to wake up and realize that the game is rigged. The game is rigged. Every day I wake up and I read these reports and I read the news, and I'm like, why are they taking it so lenient on people who's doing these school shootings? They're bombing people. They're killing people out of fucking racist ideologies, and they don't call it terrorism. But yet they turn around and say, if Ahmed blows up a fucking school, or if he shoots people in a nightclub, it's terrorism. So when a white guy does it, it's not terrorism? What is that? Just he's a lone gunman, he has mental illness problems? How many mental illness problems can you have? What is a black person? Oh, he's a black identity extremist. When that guy out there was actively shooting at the cops down in Houston, they was on alert. They was like, they sent the fucking robot bomb to kill him. They ain't even take him in alive. They always try to take white suspects in alive, but the black suspects, they be amped to fucking kill him. They already had one guy they shot in his backyard 20 damn times because they allegedly said that he had a toolbar, and yeah, they thought his cell phone was a gun, but it wasn't a gun. If he's in a backyard with a toolbar with no alleged weapon, why didn't you take him in alive? Does it really need to be does it really need to have 20 shots and then the officer says on the video, put your hands up after the 20 shots are over? And I'm like, motherfucker, you air him out with 20 shots. Ain't no humanly possible way alive he's gonna be putting his hands up. Stop it. Stop. Stop. Just stop. It's sad, man. I mean, all this considered, I've seen the news and Trump and the Mueller investigation and how he fired McCabe and his silence on this domestic terrorism issue is not surprising to me at all. He's white, he's rich, he doesn't care about anybody black or other. If you're not rich or white, he doesn't care about you. He'll give you some lip service and be like, oh, these are sick people. But yeah, he doesn't say, oh, we're going to punish them to the letter of the law. We're going to investigate these white extremist terrorist groups. He's not out here protecting them. He's a part of them. He is actively a part of the white extremists. He co-signs it. His silence is co-signing it. His silence on issues are co-signing it. When the issue happened down in Charlottesville, he said, oh, what about Antifa that attacked them with clubs and bats, and both sides of the argument? And you're telling me a neo-Nazi has a side? A fucking neo-Nazi? You serious right now? Because if it was reversed and it was the black people out there with guns, rifles, talking about white people will not replace us in the fucking 100,000s, y'all would have had the fucking army called off the rip. Off the rip, and it's like it's a double standard, and they need to stop. Because you can't defend what they're doing. Richard Spencer and all these people, Robert Mercer, the Mercer family, you can't, I mean, William Regnery, you can't defend these people. But then what do I expect from a president who has white nationalists running around in his cabinet, who has people who are there to drain the swamp and is actually fucking over the taxpayers of America, who's co-signing domestic terror groups by passively not engaging them? He's a coward. He's a fucking coward. He's a bigot. He's a racist. These white domestic terror groups need to get on the same federal list that Al-Qaeda is on. They don't need to get taken off. They need to be handled with the swift arm of justice. The same way they infiltrated the Black Panthers back in the day. They labeled them domestic terror groups, even though they committed no terror acts. They need to fucking deal with this shit, because it's going to get to a point where black people are actually going to be hunted, and black people are going to have to start fighting back, because it's like, okay, these white people are carrying guns. We need to carry guns. We need to carry bigger guns. We need to carry them in the states where you can carry guns, the Second Amendment. You have to religiously defend yourself, because if you're attacked, they'll give the attacker the benefit of the doubt because he's white. Anytime a black person is attacked, you have to defend themselves. Even if you're the victim, the media will try to paint you as, oh, he must have did something wrong to have this issue happen to him. It must have been something wrong. Always. They always do that. No matter what, they always do that. And it's sad, because it's like the black person can never get the benefit down in America. It's always a white domestic terrorist that, oh, he came from a good Christian home. He was a good old boy. He just had mental issues. Where does the double standards end, man? Why is there a double standard in the media with the white domestic terror groups? Because, you know, at the end of the day, the white people are dying too, and it's like they stay on code so much that there are no boundaries where domestic terrorists are given leeway to, like, just stop. Like, at what point do you turn around and say, you know what, the bigger issue is not black people. The bigger issue is these white domestic terrorists going around actively having terror training groups in America, and these little backwoods out there, and the FBI knows. The FBI is active. The DHS said they have 1,000 open white supremacist cases, actively investigations going on right now, and Trump is trying to take their funding to not prosecute these people. So it's like, they know, but they can't do anything about it, or they won't do anything about it. When does it end? Because at the end of the day, there's not going to be enough black people to attack. What happens when they start attacking you kids, your white kids and your white neighborhoods, and start blowing your shit up because you just wanted to be a law-abiding citizen? They will attack their own. That's what they don't understand. These white people don't understand. These white domestic terrorists will attack their own. When does the FBI says, you know what, we're going to take that BIE identity extremist report, shove it to the back, we're going to focus on the white people that are doing this shit, and we're going to get them the fuck out of here? Because you know what's funny? They'll always overcharge a black person with domestic terrorism if that is the charge. But anytime a white person does it, oh, we gotta be lenient. We don't want to ruin his future. And it's like, are you serious right now? I'm just looking at the reports and I'm like, reading at the articles and I'm like, are you serious right now? Why are you being so light with these people? They don't understand it. Stop being light with these people. If you're gonna execute us, execute them. Don't do it be biased because they're white. They will kill you too. They don't care. They don't care. That's the sad thing. And it's like the white people stay on code so much that I turn around and I'm like, why are you allowing this, man? Why are you allowing this? Is the old saying is the cut off your nose to spite your face? Is that what you're doing? Is that why y'all allowing this? Is that why law enforcement is actively, passively allowing these people, allowing these groups to fester and grow? Ever since Trump got elected, it's been fucking chaos, man. The day is gonna come when it's going to get to a tipping point where black people are not gonna take this shit anymore. They're gonna actively strike back. Is that what y'all want? Y'all will actually want a fucking race war. Black people are not out there attacking y'all. Y'all are in fear of it, but we are not attacking y'all. That's the crazy thing. Y'all fear drives y'all to do this shit. Not us. If we had it our way, let's just say that. If we had it our way as black people, and if we want to revenge for 500 years of slavery and Jim Crow and the segregation and all the racial shit y'all done, and the KKK lynchings and all y'all done, and y'all done, and the alligator baby things is y'all done in the history of the world, trust me. Trust me. Killmonger was right. That's all I gotta say. Oh man, I just wanted to get off my chest. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is, man. I couldn't even hold it in anymore. I don't even know what else to talk about because this domestic terror thing is just pissing me off. Every time I turn around, the New York Times is just giving these people leeway to do what they want, and they're whitewashing this shit. That's fucking irksome. They're whitewashing it so bad. They're whitewashing everything. Well, anyway, guys, it's been your boy, Big Norm, and I just want to remind y'all to please pick up all my books on Amazon.com and iTunes. Pick up the Aaron Jackson series, Afiana Nova, coming soon. Also pick up the comic book coming soon to Comixology. And please subscribe to our channel, Prometheus Returns. There'll be more shows in the future. It's been your boy, Big Norm. I'll holla at y'all later.